Congressman, Mr. Alexander, thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Mr. Alexander, I want to start with you. A moment ago, I spoke of the hell that's been endured by Edan. You and your wife have shared in this every day since October 7th. What have you told yourselves this past year and a half to persevere, and how do you continue to find the strength every day?
First of all, it took too long. Obviously, the deal that was executed, at least the first phase of this deal, was constructed a year ago, back in the end of 2023. But we knew that our son is alive. He was seen in those tunnels by other released hostages. The hostages that were released in November deal of 2023. And we saw the video, the hostage video that Hamas released, and this is what kept us strong, and we kept fighting for our son.
Congressman, Hamas has rejected an extension of phase 1 of the ceasefire. Edan's supposed to be part of phase 2 of the ceasefire hostage release deal. What's your understanding on where negotiations currently stand?
I mean, I think the key here is everyone is staying at the table. You know, and part of why I was in Qatar was to make sure all the parties stay at the table until we get Edan and the other hostages home. I mean, we don't leave anyone behind. We certainly don't leave an American behind. And we have to do everything we can every single day to pressure all the parties to keep working this until this happens. You know, and it means, you know, my position on this hasn't changed. We've got to crush Hamas and the other terrorists, and we've got to get the hostages home. But, you know, just to rewind a second, well, the question you asked about how the Alexanders do it, it's a question that I ask myself every day. You've never seen a stronger family and a stronger community rally together and to get Edan home, who's just a regular American kid, right? Went to Tenafly High School, swam on the team, seen the pictures from the prom. You know, this is just a regular kid from a Jersey neighborhood, and we've got to get him home. He's an American. And I think, you know, that is what every single day I think about as I'm fighting for this. And the strength that I gather from the Alexander family, I can't really explain enough just how incredible they are and how they fight every single hour and stay positive.
Mr. Alexander, can you share your thoughts on where the ceasefire and this negotiation process is right now?
So as the first phase ended, the second phase was left blurry. So we kind of in a no man land, and this is a new team's task to reshuffle the cards and to renegotiate. So my understanding that as we speak, it's in process. We dealing with a really tough opponent, to say the least. But we hopeful everybody should stay at the bargaining table and keep fighting for our kids.
Hamas, of course, is known for psychological terror, releasing videos of hostages. Again, you referenced this a few moments ago, that your family received a sign of life. I think it was back in November. Can you describe the range of emotions when you saw Edan in that video?
At the beginning, it was a short promo, very early AM, and then the full version of this video was released, three or so minutes. It was a first sign of life for us. We saw our son for the first time after almost 422 days. He looked pale, but he looked okay, and the most important thing, he was alive.
Congressman, in recent weeks, we have seen hostages released so gaunt, so malnourished, they look like Holocaust survivors. And when the bodies of baby Kfir and Ariel Bibas were turned over to the Red Cross, there was music blaring, there were celebrations, children cheering as their bodies were paraded in Gaza. What was going through your mind as you were watching all of this unfold?
I don't know how any American could watch that and not be sickened by what they saw, and getting, you know, the mom sending the wrong body home, and watching the pictures of those young children, and they could be any of our kids, right? And the way they paraded all of the hostages who were released around, right? As you point out, like as if they were celebrating. This is what you're dealing with when you're dealing with terrorists. That said, we've got to get all the parties to make sure they stay at the table. That's including not just the Qataris and Hamas and the Israelis and the Egyptians and others to stay and work this through until we get Edan and the other hostages out. And I think that has to be our major focus. It's what I'm working on every day. It's why I was in Qatar, not just to make sure we get to that next phase and keep this moving along, but to make sure they don't forget that there will be a price to pay if Hamas continues on their path of terror and if Edan doesn't get home immediately.
Mr. Alexander, could you even bring yourself to watch the handovers as they're happening?
It's really tough scenes, you know, and also returning the wrong body at the beginning, and then it's unbelievable. It's simply unbelievable. But again, we are dealing with a really tough opponent. I mean, I wish it could be over really soon, and at least the guns are quiet, and we have some sort of the ceasefire. So that keeps us hopeful.
Have you thought about what you will say to Edan when, God willing, you finally have him in your arms again?
Just a huge hug and so many questions to ask about the October 7 and about this specific day, what happened on that day. And he obviously is going through very tough times, and he's going through hell. And but hopefully will say to us that it wasn't so bad after all.